concepts of independence by virtue of being a Medicaid provider. We must comply with federal and New York state laws regarding Medicaid fraud. Have your employee read the Concepts of Independence False Claims Act summary from the enrollment package, including the policy pertaining to false claims and false statements. Have the employee sign and acknowledge that they have read and understood the False Claims Act. In addition, have the employee read the Deficit Reduction Act of 2005 that specifically states that a personal assistant will not be paid for any time the consumer stays in the hospital. The personal assistant should immediately notify concepts when the consumer is hospitalized. Submitting timesheets to be paid or allowing the worker to clock in and out during a consumer's hospitalization constitutes Medicaid fraud. Have the employee sign the acknowledgement that they have read and understood the Deficit Reduction Act of 2005. Inform the personal assistant that they must report any actual or perceived instances of Medicaid fraud to Concept's Corporate Compliance Officer at 1-888-426-3090. All calls will be kept confidential. Provide ongoing training and education reminders to the personal assistant regarding Medicaid fraud. Remind the personal assistant that they should communicate all questions regarding Medicaid fraud to the Concept's Corporate Compliance Officer. Encourage good faith reporting and participation in the Medicaid fraud compliance program and discuss consequences, up to including dismissal, for participation in non-compliant behavior. Remind the personal assistant that if they report possible instances of Medicaid fraud, there will be no intimidation or retaliation for their actions. Remember the following items. The personal assistant should not sign blank timesheets. The personal assistant should not get paid if the consumer is on vacation or out of state. All personal assistants will be checked against the New York State Office of the Medicaid's General Exclusion List. Examples of Medicaid fraud include submitting a timesheet for hours not worked, submitting a timesheet for hours when the consumer is in the hospital, asking your personal assistant for a kickback in order to keep their job, asking your personal assistant to perform responsibilities that are not included in your plan of care,